Jones Studio, Making Money from Home Series Episode 4, Partnerships and Collaborations. Thank you for joining us for today's lesson, Partnerships and Collaborations. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jodi, a New York City fashion photographer with over 20 years experience in photography. This is the 4th episode in Jodi Jones Studio's series teaching you how to make money from home in photography. This series aims to give fellow photographers outside-the-box tips and strategies on how to continue working during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. In today's lesson, we're going to have a fundamental understanding of the right way to work in a partnership or with a collaborator. First, we're going to talk about selecting the right collaborators. First things first, identify your key audience. Who are you trying to reach? What would your client or customer be like? Visualize their core values. Then ask yourself, what brand message are you putting forward in your own work? And which brands align with your ethos? Identify other like-minded potential collaborators and make a list with details such as their brand ideals, what attracted you to their work, as well as touch points with which to make contact. This can be in the form of website inquiry, phone numbers, emails, and social media profiles, etc. Find common ground amongst entries on this list so you have an opening to pitch the partnership to them. Explain how the collaboration will be complementary, mutually beneficial, and exactly how you work off each other. Working collaboratively. Once you have done the hard work of narrowing down your list and making contact with a few prospective partners, it is important that you proceed with the next step in an assertive but professional manner. You may know this artist socially, and if this is the case, it pays to set clear, defined boundaries and expectations for the partnership, but also have a fun, casual energy about you. We don't want to be too stiff and serious. Establish a transparent and open dialogue to build a cohesive culture within this budding relationship. From here, organize, say, a Zoom meeting, for instance, from the comfort of your own home or workspace. From here, you guys need to work together to make a plan, set goals, and create a rough concept, really outline the process for the work. This can always be redefined later. It's vital at this point that your roles and responsibilities for both you and your partner are hashed out so it's clear from the get-go what is expected from both of you. Partnerships agreement. So we're going to talk about agreements real quickly because some relationships and collaborations you might get into will be a little bit more casual, but if you really have a project that's a little bit bigger in scope, it's important to really discuss agreements. Unfortunately, the fastest way to turn a relatively lucrative partnership into a failed business venture is by using too much of an informal or verbal handshake agreement or having a lack of clarity relative to the division of labor between both of you. Just discuss division of investment. Is it an equal share? A percentage share? Initial investment and agreed works should be fairly reflective in the financials. If you are doing financials, perhaps the investment isn't financial at all, but rather an investment of time. So work out a rough return on investment. The idea may be fantastic, but are all parties going to be happy with the income made from the time and energy spent on the project? Let me give you an example of a partnership that I'm in right now. So during COVID-19, the pandemic, we were all in quarantine here in New York City. So we were inundated by negative news all the time. A good friend of mine, who's actually a wonderful stylist and producer, had reached out to me and said he really wanted to provide a positive voice to the world. And so he asked if myself and another partner, Adam Rodriguez, my husband, who's an amazing videographer and video editor and all things to do with the computer, he asked if we would form a partnership to work on a particular project. Now, although we didn't have financial goals in mind, we did have goals of who we wanted to reach and how we were going to go about working on the project. So the first thing we did was really set boundaries and really set a structure for who was going to do what. Oscar was going to be the one to reach out to different people in the world that we really thought had a positive voice and we wanted them to share their stories. So he was the one initiating reaching out to people. One of the things that I did was I organized remote virtual photo shoots. So I actually did photo shoots of different people around the world. And Adam took all the video footage that we had shot in the stills and put it all together and created this beautiful project called the Love, Peace, Joy, and Creativity Project. And if you haven't seen it, you really should check it out. I'm really proud of it. It's a really exciting project that I got to work on. And if it wasn't for collaborations, it would have been too much to do on my own. There's so much more we can do together than we can just do on our own. One of the things that we had to decide was, where was this going to be promoted? Who was going to be promoting it? So whose channel or social media accounts or projects would it be posted on? There's no reason that media resulting from your collaboration cannot be shared on yours and all the different platforms that you or your partners have. Touch on the possibility of co-branding options. Cross-promotion and peer endorsements are powerful tools to really increase customer trust in your individual brands, as well as reach a broader viewer base. You may even decide to create a new special use company with a combined branding. For the Love, Peace, Joy, and Creativity project, we created our very own social media channel. So not only do we have that Instagram and that Twitter account and that YouTube account for the project, we can also use all of the project on any of our own Instagram or social media accounts. Even the people that we interview, they're going to be promoting it. So it's not only coming from the Love, Peace, Joy, and Creativity project social media accounts, but from myself, from Adam, from Oscar, and from all the people we interview. So you can see the power of working together and collaborating with other people. You may even decide to create a whole new special use company with combined branding. And you can use this for any future projects or partnerships between your collaborator and yourself. But whatever you both agree to, it really pays to put it in writing. Or depending on the value of the partnership, even potentially have a legal contract drawn up with all relevant schedules, programs, and documents attached. Although they can always change, it's just nice to have a foundation to go on. This will be invaluable to refer back to, particularly in the next part of our lesson. Evaluating success. So how do we quantify a successful partnership? You may feel as though your time and effort together has been a success, but has it really? Establishing key performance indicators, KPIs, is a way to numerically quantify and compare results in a direct comparison to your forecast returns. Have you hit sales or engagement targets? How about how many viewers did you reach? What was your conversion rate? Perform some self-reflection. How do you think you performed? Do you think your partner is content with your contributions to this collective effort of the team? Consider the efforts of your partner. Would you collaborate again? Was the mutually accepted plan adhered to and executed as agreed? Ensure you have a professional debrief with your partner, where you both have an opportunity to outline which part of the plan worked great and where efficiencies and improvements can be made. And just one note on maintaining business relationships. Even in the event of a failed partnership, the prudent thing to do is to maintain professionalism at all times. Don't ever burn bridges. Don't be petty or act spiteful to your ex-partner. A part of expanding professional networks is maintaining good relationships and reputation. If you slander your ex-partner to others in the industry, word gets around and it impacts your possibilities with any other future partnerships. To briefly recap what we have covered, here are a few key points to remember from today's lesson. Really select the right partner who is aligned to your own goals. Remember to work collaboratively. Work out and agree to the plan in finer details. Discuss any financials if applicable. Document the particulars of your collaboration. Assess the success and performance of the joint venture and your partner and yourself. Do not let any unsuccessful partnership soil your reputation in the industry. Hey, now let's put something into practice. As an exercise, I want you to work on expanding your professional network. Put your feelers out, do some research, and form a list of potential collaborators you could work with based on alignment of values and brand messages. Really think about that partnership, what it could look like, and key points to approach a collaborator with when selling your pitch. Consider if this partnership would be mutually beneficial and lucrative enough to both of you to be worth the time and effort. There are many different levels of partnerships, but use this as a guide. Not everything needs to be in a formal contract, but it's good to have a clear direction and expectations in any partnership. So the team here at Jodi Jones Studio really hoped you found today's lesson informative and helpful to really enable you to think of ways to make money from home with photography. If you haven't already, please refer back to our previous videos in this series and stay tuned for our next lesson on retouching photos from home.